In this video, I want to look at the events within Planning Center check-ins. We'll talk about how to add an event, how to modify an event. Let's start with adding an event. So we have a new event coming up. It's going to be an event at the Tivoli coming up in the near future. So this event we'll call Screen Sanity. It's going to happen one time. If it was reoccurring, if it happened weekly or daily, then we would select one of those things. It's a one-off. So Screen Sanity will be the event that will start here. So when do we want to start checking in? We're going to do Screen Sanity in like February 5th. So that's when the event is. Now, when does the event start? It starts at 6 p.m. Now, this part where it says show event and hide event is really important because if it's before 4 o'clock here, the event will not show up on your check-in station. And if you're trying to check in after 8 o'clock, it's also not going to be there. What I tend to do is I tend to make showing the event pretty early and hiding the event at the end of the event so that people can always check in for it. So for a 6 o'clock event, let's do like a check-in of noon. So it'll show up. And then hiding the event at 8. Great. It's a one-time event, right? So at 6 p.m., there's not like two times that it happens. Sometimes with services, we'll want to add a different time. We have multiple times. We would want to hit new time, and it would give you the exact same thing. And it would just add another time down here. So this is a one-time event at 6 o'clock on Wednesday, February 5th. The next thing you want to do is labels and locations. Locations within Planning Center check-ins is really about what area you're serving in, and it's closely tied to your label or your name tag. So I think of my different locations being my different areas of serving. For example, like production, One Family Kids, First Impressions, all these different teams that occur. And so we're going to have multiple locations at most events. My first location's name, I'm going to keep it simple for this one. I'm just going to call it Dream Team Member. This is also the location name is what people will see when they're trying to check in at one of our kiosks. So we want to make it really clear. Dream Team Member, this is going to be a kind of our catch-all for most of our people. Very rarely do I mess with filters with our Dream Team check-in. I think this is probably more applicable if you're using it for kids check-in. The thing that I do want to add is a location label, a label that is specific to this location. So when somebody checks in with Dream Team Center or Dream Team Member, they're going to get a specific label. So I'm going to click Add Label, and then I select all three of these just to prevent any potential hiccups. And then I look for a label or a name tag associated with it. So Dream Team Member, boom. We have that name tag associated with the location of Dream Team Member. Now, these other two will print. These are standard ones that are just attached to the event. And so what we want to do is we actually want to go over here to the event settings. And I always pull both those off because I don't want people getting three different name tags and it being confusing. I want them to get the Dream Team Member one. So I go over here to settings. The event labels, that's where you can update the event labels, add and edit the labels. And I just take these both off so that now if I go into this location of Dream Team Member, that there is only one label that's going to happen. Now, we probably want a few other labels. One other one we definitely want is a staff member because they have a different label or different name tag. So let me make the staff name tag one. And I need a location label for the staff. So even though staff are not volunteer, they're not guests, it just prevents some hiccups there. So I select all of those, and then I go to staff name tag, and I hit save. So now, if I view all the labels and locations that people can check in, right now, someone can check in as a Dream Team member, they can check in as staff, and that covers most of our people there. Now, if you wanted to get more specific, like you wanted a production team one, you could do one for production team. If you wanted to make this a little bit more specific. And we actually have one for the production team. So I could add that one now. When somebody goes to check in, they can check in either as a dream team member, production team member, or staff member. And they're going to get a specific label based on that check-in location. One of the things I typically do is I just kind of check over the times, make sure everything is good. Labels and locations, make sure that these are the ones I want people to be able to check into. And then your event is really ready to go. Your event is ready to be tied to a station or be able to check in with a station. That's going to be the next video.